today I'm talking about cravings, right? Because a lot of us try to avoid our cravings. A lot of us don't really understand them. A lot of us, like, what are you doing right now to try to, when you have cravings, what do you do about it, right? That's my question to you. Do you tend to push them away, push the urge away, and try to distract yourself with food, with something other than food? Do you try to eat another kind of food so that you don't, for example, if you crave brownies, you're like, no, I can't have brownies. So you end up making some healthy version that tastes nothing like brownies and doesn't fulfill you and really bring you any pleasure. Do you go exercise and distract yourself that way? What do you do specifically when it comes to your cravings when they come up for you? What do you do to circumvent that and have that go away? I would like to know. So just comment below what that is for you. And if you're watching the replay, also comment. I'd love to know. The thing is, when we talk about cravings specifically, there's 3 things that I would like to talk about. But for today, I'm just going to talk about one of those things, right? Because I have the 3 A's that I kind of, a system that I use, not a system, but like a principle that I kind of use, right? And I'm going to bring it up now. Da, 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 da. Okay, ready? 1 is to acknowledge the craving, right? 2 is to analyze it, and 3 is to allow them. So I'm going to talk about number 3 for today, allow the craving. And there's a big difference between allowing a craving and actually making the choice to have that food. There's a really big distinction. It's the way that you look at it personally. It's the way that your intention towards the craving. And the difference is allowing yourself to have it doesn't mean that you're making the choice to have it. It just means that you're allowing yourself the opportunity to choose it or not choose it. For example, if I'm restricting myself, that's not restriction in and of itself is not allowing you to make that choice of, I can have this and I cannot have it. If you're restricting yourself, you don't have that choice currently. You are so scared of that food that you don't feel like you can have it, right? And so you restrict yourself to try and stay away from it because you think you're going to eat too much. Versus making the choice of, yes, I get to choose whether I have this brownie today or whether I don't have it. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to choose it. I'm just going to allow myself to actually have that choice, have the responsibility of that choice, the honor of making that choice, and deciding whether I want to or not. But if you come at your cravings from a place of restriction and not allowing those foods, then what happens is you end up restricting more and more. And the mindset towards that is, okay, I'm going to end up binge eating later, because when you have restriction, you have this resistance towards that thing, and it actually gives it more energy, right? Which you know, because when you restrict food, you end up binge eating it later on in the week, later on in the month, and you end up eating more than you actually would if you had just allowed that little bit from the beginning, right? So it's all about allowing your cravings to be there. When you allow your cravings to be there, you can then make a choice from that place instead of just restricting yourself from the start, which, like I said, leads only to binge eating, leads only to eating way more than you would have from the start. Okay? So it's really important, and I know it seems scary at first, to really allow yourself to make that choice. Allow the cravings to be there. Because what's so harmful about allowing the cravings to be there? Nothing. Right? Doesn't mean that you have to make the choice to have them. It just means you need to allow yourself the responsibility of that choice. And then from there, you can make a decision. Right? So I'm going to go over the other 2 just because I feel like it. Why not? So the 3 steps: acknowledge that you have the craving, right? Because you have it. It's not like you don't have it. So if you're trying to restrict yourself and be like, no, and distract yourself, you're not really acknowledging that it's there, the craving's there. Just acknowledge that it's there. Like, who cares? We have this fear that if we acknowledge and allow the craving to be there, then it's actually going to overwhelm us and make us reach for that craving and reach for that food. But the opposite is true. Once you just allow yourself that craving, it reduces the resistance from you and that food, and just allows you to relax a little bit more around that food, and you can then act from that place, which is a beautiful thing. So analyze is another step, right? So you have acknowledge, allow, and analyze. Analyze means that you look deeper at the craving that you have. Like, why am I craving this thing? Did I eat enough during the day? Did I have enough water today? Did I get enough sleep last night? Is there something emotional going on? Is something triggering me to eat? Like, what's going on in my environment at the moment? And really analyzing and going deeper into that craving and seeing what it is that's there, right? That's really important. And from that place, from that analyzing place, if it does turn out that you're emotionally craving it and you're craving it for reasons other than hunger or other than really finding pleasure in it, you're just doing it to feel an emotional need, then from that place you can make the choice as to whether you want to eat it or not based off that. Sometimes you'll just want to eat it anyway. Other times you'll be like, no, it's not really going to make me feel better because I don't actually feel like having it. And you'll want to meet the emotional need instead of turning to food, right? So it's really important that we decide what we want to do from a place of responsibility, from a place of ownership of our cravings, okay? So acknowledge them, allow them, and analyze them. Those 3 steps are going to be really important. Stop distracting yourself from food, because food is always going to be there. Start relating to it in a different way that is actually going to serve you in your life, and allow that relationship to flourish by you actually being a party in the relationship, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I'm so scared of food. Like, imagine food was a person, and the way you're acting right now is like you going, oh my gosh, that person's here, quick, I have to hide, I have to leave. That's how you're acting around food at the moment. It's time to really step back and look at food in a completely different way, as if you were having a relationship with it. And you're like, okay, how does this food make me feel, right? How does this food make me feel 2 hours from now? It's like a person. How does this person make me feel 2 hours from now? Like after I go see them, how do they make me feel? If they don't make me feel good, I probably won't be spending time with them, or I'll analyze, like, does this person make me feel good when I'm around them? Do they bring joy to my life? Do they bring me pleasure? Do they contribute to my life? And the same goes with food. Like, you analyze food that way instead of coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I'm so scared of this. Because when you come from that stressful place, it's really hard to make good decisions, because you're no longer in control of your choices, because you're living out of fear. So it's really important that we come back to this place of alignment, of really stepping up, taking ownership of our cravings and being like, yeah, I crave this. Acknowledge that. I'm craving chocolate right now. Analyze. All right, so what's going on? Why do I crave the chocolate? Am I craving it because I'm bored? Is that really going to help me? If I really want it, I'm allowed to have it, but like, do I really want that? Is it really going to make me feel better or make me feel like shit? And then I'll be bored and I'll feel like shit. And then making the choice. You get to decide after that. Do you have it? Do you not have it? I hope that helps, guys. Let me know what you think below, and I'll speak to you guys soon. I love you so much.